In tonight's episode, we travel to the shadow of one of Japan's most iconic landmarks, Himeji Castle. Beneath its towering white walls lies something the tour guides don't like to linger on. A stone well tucked quietly in the courtyard, where the air feels colder, heavier, wrong. Most pass by without a second glance, but those who stop sometimes hear something. A whisper. A woman's voice. Counting, slowly, softly, always stopping short. Then, silence. Or worse, a scream that doesn't sound human. Locals say it's just a legend, but visitors keep reporting the same thing. So, what really happened at that well, and why does it still echo with the sound of grief? Let's begin. The story begins centuries ago, in the heart of feudal Japan. Himeji Castle, majestic, silent, perched like a white heron above the land, was not only a seat of power, but also a place where loyalty and treachery lived side by side. Beneath its beauty, shadows moved quietly, and among them was a servant girl named Okiku. She wasn't a warrior or a noble, just a maid. Quiet, diligent, careful. Her job was to tend to her master's household, and more importantly, to guard a priceless set of 10 porcelain plates, gifts from a shogun, meant to symbolize peace. Every night, she would count them, one by one, making sure none had gone missing. Ichi, ni, san. But one day, the count didn't end at 10. One plate was gone. Okiku panicked. She searched everywhere, but the missing piece refused to appear, and with its absence came accusation. Her master, a powerful samurai, didn't believe her. Or maybe he did, and just needed a reason. Either way, punishment came swiftly. Torture, chains, a final push into the castle well. That should have been the end, but it wasn't. They say you can still hear her at night, counting from the depths of that same well. Always stopping short, always screaming. And here's the thing, some visitors hear her, some don't, but those who do usually wish they hadn't. So if you're listening right now, and you suddenly hear the number 9 in your room tonight, don't look behind you, just subscribe. It might be the only way to make sure she skips you. It started, as these things often do, with something small. A woman visiting Himeji Castle during the off-season, midweek, cloudy skies, barely any tourists around. She wasn't there for ghosts. She was a history lover, fascinated by the architecture, the samurai era, the elegance of it all. She paid for a guided tour, wandered through the towering corridors, admired the sweeping views of the city. It all felt exactly as she expected, until they reached the courtyard. That's when she noticed the well. It wasn't on the official map. The guide didn't mention it. No plaque, no warning, just a circular stone opening tucked in a corner like an afterthought. But she couldn't look away. There was something about it. The guide moved on, the group followed. She didn't. She walked up to the well. The stone rim was cold, unnaturally cold for a summer afternoon. When she leaned over and looked inside, it was just darkness, deep and still. And then she heard it. A whisper, so faint it might have been her imagination, but clear enough to freeze her in place, a single word in Japanese, Ichi. She spun around. No one. The courtyard was empty. She tried to laugh it off. Maybe someone from the group had said something. Maybe the wind had caught a voice. But that night, back in her hotel room, the word wouldn't leave her mind. And when she closed her eyes to sleep, she heard it again. This time, closer. Ichi, ni, san, always stopping right before 10. The next day, she returned to Himeji Castle. She told herself it was just to finish the tour, to see the parts she'd missed. But in truth, she couldn't stop thinking about the well, the whisper, the counting. It was like a splinter in her thoughts. As she approached the gates, a staff member stopped her, an elderly woman in uniform sweeping the path. Her smile faded the moment she asked about the well. "You shouldn't go near it," the woman said quietly, eyes darting to the corners of the courtyard. "She doesn't like being disturbed." The visitor blinked, She? But the woman had already gone back to sweeping. The tour guide from yesterday was different this time. Friendly, professional, but the moment the well came into view, he picked up his pace, almost like he was trying to rush past it. When she asked directly about it, he gave a tight smile and muttered, "That part of the castle isn't maintained," before changing the subject. Later that afternoon, while exploring alone, she heard it again. Ichi, ni, san. This time, the voice was louder. And closer. She spun around. No one. But the counting continued, following her like a second shadow. Always pausing. Always stopping short. That night, she dreamt of the well. Water rising, a pale hand reaching up, fingers twitching, nails cracked and black. In the dream, she leaned in, helpless, pulled by something cold and invisible. She woke up, gasping, drenched in sweat. She tried calling the hotel front desk. The line crackled, then went dead. When she turned on the TV for background noise, every channel was static. And then, through the static, she heard it again, faint but unmistakable. Ichi. She turned off the TV. Silence. But on the mirror, in the condensation from her shower, someone or something had traced a single number, 9. Nothing else, just 9. The next one was missing. The final night, she couldn't sleep. Every creak in the walls felt deliberate. Every shadow seemed to lean in. She kept the lights on, the TV muted, her back against the headboard. Still, nothing helped. At exactly 3 a.m., the temperature in the room dropped. She could see her breath. Then came the voice. Ichi, ni, san. It wasn't in her head anymore. It echoed from the bathroom, low and rhythmic, rising from the pipes like steam. She stumbled toward the door, heart hammering, and flung it open. The sink was overflowing. Not with water, but something dark, thick, ink-like. And in the mirror behind it, her reflection was gone, replaced by a figure standing in the well, wet hair draped across her face. White kimono soaked in black water, mouth open, frozen mid-scream. Ichi, ni, san. The woman began counting faster now, urgently, desperately. When she reached 9, the lights blew out. The room plunged into darkness. And then came the scream, high-pitched, shattering. It didn't come from the mirror, it came from behind her. She turned, but no one was there. Only her own voice, suddenly whispering that final number in a voice that wasn't hers. 10. She didn't sleep the rest of the night. At sunrise, she checked out of the hotel without speaking to anyone. Her hands were shaking, her voice felt stuck in her throat, but something inside her needed closure, answers. So before leaving town, she went back to the castle one last time. The same elderly staff woman was sweeping the courtyard. When she approached, the woman didn't look surprised. "She counted you," the woman said softly, like it was a fact. The visitor asked what that meant. The woman sighed and pointed to the well. "She counts the plates. 9 are always there. But when someone disturbs her, truly disturbs her, she starts counting the living instead. You must have reminded her of someone. Or maybe she just chose you." The visitor's mind reeled. The mirror, the voice, the scream. "But why me?" she whispered. The woman gave her a tired smile. "Some say Okiku only haunts those who ignore the truth. Others believe she's looking for someone to take her place." Then she handed her something small. A porcelain shard, cracked, wet, cold to the touch. "There were never 10 plates," the woman said, and walked away. She left Himeji that afternoon, never looking back. The porcelain shard stayed in her pocket, no matter how many times she tried to throw it away. Each time she blinked, she swore she saw that pale face, just behind glass or in the corner of a reflection. The counting didn't stop. Not at home, not in her car, not even in her dreams. Ichi, ni, San. Sometimes it reached 9. Sometimes it didn't. She doesn't talk about it anymore, but her lights stay on all night, her mirrors stay covered, and the well, no one speaks of it. Not really. Himeji Castle remains a tourist favorite. Pictures are taken. Guides give rehearsed histories. But every so often, a guest hears the whisper. And if you hear it too, don't wait for the scream. Don't let her reach 10. And whatever you do, subscribe to save yourself. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video and want to listen to more true horror stories from Asia, feel free to subscribe and put on your notifications. I upload at least 3 times a week. Wish you all the best.